The National Facial Biometric Matching Capability, or the capability for short, is a policy described by the Australian Government as a system to provide Australians with more secure and convenient access to government services and the private sector. But the capability is so much more than this. It is a policy mired in issues related to privacy, data security, mass surveillance, and human rights. And in the 2020 federal budget, this digital identity system received a $256 million injection. Facial recognition technologies are everywhere today, so why should the expansion of the government's power to surveil, collect, store, and share our facial images be cause for concern? Firstly, biometric data, such as a face print, fingerprint, or DNA, is considered sensitive information under the Australian Privacy Act. As such, it enjoys extra privacy protections and may only be collected with the consent of the individual concerned. However, this protection is subject to a number of exemptions. The capability is being managed through optional and unregulated sharing agreements formed between government departments and agencies. These fall outside the scrutiny of a legislative framework. The result is a watering down of privacy protections and an increase in government surveillance. Facial recognition technology is privacy invasive. It identifies individuals and can be used to link and connect information across datasets. The capability will initially use photographs held in databases containing driver's licenses, passports, and any other form of photo ID. In the future, however, it possesses the scope to capture CCTV and social media images as well. Individuals who consent to being photographed for passports or licenses may not consent to their facial template being used for the purposes of the capability. As citizens of a democracy, we have not been consulted about the use of our facial image for purposes other than those we agreed to. We have not voted for it. We protest against the government collecting and storing our fingerprints or DNA without our consent. Our facial templates are just as unique and deserving of the same protection. Adding to privacy concerns are problems with the technology itself. Numerous studies have shown that the algorithms used in many facial recognition technologies are plagued with errors and biases. Algorithms are not politically neutral technology. They are written by humans and as such contain innate human flaws and biases. They also produce unacceptable error rates of identification, particularly for ethnic minorities and women. This produces false positives that have the potential to cause a great deal of harm. In fact, some of the world's biggest tech companies are distancing themselves from facial recognition technology due to its potential for misuse and harm, and they are calling on governments worldwide to ban or at least suspend its use. And finally, do we trust Australian government agencies to protect our facial template and keep it secure from threats and misuse? Their track record on data protection and data management does not inspire confidence. If the capability is breached, it's not the same as replacing a credit card or a phone number. If biometric facial information is compromised, it cannot be retracted, and this may have repercussions for a person for the rest of their life. Your face is becoming your new fingerprint, but your face is more than just biometric data. It represents a story we relate about ourselves and that others relate about us, and it must be protected. If the capability proceeds, we may lose ownership of our facial image. Many questions remain concerning this policy, and as citizens we should demand the answers. These organisations are urging all Australians to sign their joint petition aimed at informing the Australian Government that the collection and storage of this amount of biometric facial data is excessive and disproportionate. As such, they demand the government cease implementation of the capability until adequate legislation has been enacted to protect the privacy and data of all Australians.